Hey warriors, let me ask you something powerful. How many times have you felt like life was slipping through your fingers, that no matter how hard you tried, the days kept vanishing into distraction, weakness, and regret? You tell yourself tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow you'll take control. Tomorrow you'll finally live with purpose. But tomorrow comes, and nothing changes. The Stoics would look you straight in the eye and say, "You're not living, you're waiting." Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not to impress anyone, but to remind himself every single day to fight this very battle. He was the emperor of Rome, the most powerful man alive, yet he struggled with the same things you and I do: procrastination, anger, laziness, fear, and still, he found a way to rise above them. Today, we're going to walk that same path through 12 habits the Stoics mastered, habits that can turn an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. But remember, these are not just ideas, they are weapons. And like any weapon, they only work if you pick them up and use them. Habit 1. Start the day with clarity. Marcus Aurelius would wake each morning reminding himself, "Today, you will meet ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous people. But they cannot harm your soul unless you let them." Think about that. Before even stepping out of bed, he armored his mind. Imagine what would happen if instead of grabbing your phone, scrolling social media, and drowning in chaos, you started each day with 5 minutes of clarity, setting your intention, reminding yourself who you want to be, and what you will not allow to control you. Warriors prepare before the battle begins. Life is the battlefield. Habit 2. Practice emotional control. Epictetus, once a slave, taught that no one can make you angry, sad, or afraid. Only your judgments about events can. A harsh comment online, a rejection at work, a fight with someone you love, it all feels like a direct attack. But the Stoics remind us, these things cannot break you unless you surrender to them. Imagine holding a shield. Every insult, every disappointment hits it and bounces off. You feel the impact, but you're not pierced. That's emotional control. It's not about being cold or numb, but about choosing not to hand over your inner peace to someone else's chaos. Habit 3. Train discipline like a muscle. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Discipline is not about punishment, it's about freedom. The freedom to say no to junk food so you can say yes to health. The freedom to wake up early so you can build the life you dream of. The freedom to delay comfort so you can embrace growth. The Stoics didn't waste their days chasing pleasure. They trained their willpower like warriors trained their bodies. Every time you choose discipline over laziness, you're building unshakable strength. Habit 4. Face discomfort willingly. Modern life trains us to avoid pain at all costs. We chase comfort, softer beds, easier jobs, quicker entertainment. But the Stoics practiced discomfort deliberately. Marcus slept on hard ground when he didn't have to. Epictetus lived with almost nothing. Why? Because when hardship came, they were ready. If you always avoid discomfort, life will break you the first time it punches you in the mouth. But if you lean into discomfort, cold showers, hard workouts, tough conversations, you'll discover something shocking. Discomfort is where true growth lives. Warriors are not made in comfort. They are forged in fire. So, warriors, before we go further, I want you to pause and reflect. Which of these 4 habits are you neglecting right now? Be honest, because the Stoics would tell you, self-deception is the first enemy you must defeat. Take inventory of your soul, sharpen your mind, and let's prepare to go deeper. The next habits will push you harder, but if you commit, they will transform your life forever. Hey warriors, if the first 4 habits were about building your armor, the next 4 are about sharpening your sword. Life will not wait for you to be ready. It will test you in moments you least expect, and if you have not prepared, you will fall. The Stoics knew this truth well. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal while commanding armies and leading an empire through famine and plague. Epictetus taught his students to face insults and hardship with calm strength. Seneca reminded us that death waits at our shoulder every day. These men did not write philosophy to entertain, they wrote to survive. And if you want to live with power and peace in today's chaotic world, you must forge these next habits into your very being. Habit 5. Live with purpose, not impulse. Most people drift like leaves in the wind, reacting to whatever comes their way. But Marcus urged himself to remember, a man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. Purpose is your compass. It gives direction when life tries to scatter you in 1,000 directions. Think of how easily we waste hours scrolling, gossiping, chasing meaningless distractions. That is not living, it's drifting. Warriors do not drift, they march. To live with purpose is to wake up knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you're willing to fight for. Without purpose, every day is just survival. With purpose, every day is victory. Habit 6. Practice gratitude relentlessly. Seneca reminded his students that we are often ungrateful for what we already possess, while chasing what we do not. Look around your life right now, the roof over your head, the people who care about you, the food on your table. These are miracles, yet we treat them as ordinary until they are gone. Gratitude transforms suffering into perspective. Even in hardship, there is always something to be thankful for. Marcus Aurelius, despite being burdened with endless duties, wrote often of his gratitude for teachers, friends, and even the chance to live one more day. Warriors do not cry about what they lack. They honor what they have, and that strength carries them through storms. Habit 7. Speak less, do more. Epictetus told his students, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Too many today talk endlessly about goals, dreams, and plans, but action never follows. Words are cheap, discipline is rare. Every promise you break to yourself weakens your soul, while every action you take in silence sharpens it. Stop announcing your intentions, start living them. The Stoics valued action over noise, courage over talk, integrity over empty promises. Warriors do not need applause or validation. Their lives speak louder than words. Imagine the power you'd have if you shifted all the energy you spend talking into building, training, creating. That's Stoic living. Habit 8. Accept what you cannot control. This is perhaps the most famous Stoic principle. Epictetus said, some things are up to us, and some things are not. Yet how much of our suffering comes from fighting what we cannot change? The weather, traffic, the past, the opinions of strangers. We rage against them as if anger will bend reality, but it never does. The Stoic warrior accepts reality, not with weakness, but with clarity. Acceptance is not surrender, it is strategy. If a storm is coming, you do not waste time cursing the sky. You prepare, you endure, you act where you still can. That is strength. The more energy you stop wasting on the uncontrollable, the more power you will have to change what truly matters. Warriors, these 4 habits are a call to sharpen your focus, to strip away the distractions and illusions that weaken most men. Purpose gives you direction. Gratitude gives you perspective. Action gives you credibility. Acceptance gives you peace. And if you can live these, you will walk through chaos with unshakable calm. But the journey is not finished. The final 4 habits are the hardest. They will demand courage, humility, and the strength. We've built our armor, sharpened our sword, and now it's time to face the deepest battles, the ones within. The final 4 habits are not just practices, they are transformations. They demand you confront your ego, your mortality, your comfort, and your excuses. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca walked this path not because it was easy, but because it was the only way to true freedom. And if you want to rise above the noise, the fear, and the endless distractions of this world, you must engrave these last habits into your soul. This is where warriors are truly made. Habit 9. Practice humility and self-awareness. Marcus, despite being emperor, constantly reminded himself, "Soon you will have forgotten everything. Soon everyone will have forgotten you." Think about that. The most powerful man in the world humbled himself daily. Meanwhile, many of us act as if we're the center of the universe, offended by the smallest slight, desperate for recognition. But humility frees you. It strips away ego and lets you grow without shame. Self-awareness is the mirror of the warrior. You look honestly at your flaws, your weaknesses, your failures, not to hate yourself, but to sharpen yourself. The proud stagnate, but the humble ascend. Habit 10. Memento Mori, remember death. Seneca told us, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing." Death is not meant to depress you, it is meant to wake you up. Every moment wasted is a piece of your life burned away forever. The Stoics meditated daily on mortality to fuel urgency, gratitude, and courage. Marcus reminded himself, "You could leave life right now." Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Imagine living with that awareness. Would you waste hours scrolling, gossiping, or complaining? Or would you love harder, work braver, and live fully? Warriors do not fear death. They use it as fire to live. Habit 11. Serve something greater than yourself. The Stoics believe the universe is a web, and we are all threads within it. Marcus wrote often of duty, to his people, to reason, to the greater good. In a world obsessed with self, the warrior finds meaning in service. That doesn't always mean ruling an empire. It can be as simple as being a rock for your family, a mentor for a friend, a light in a dark place. The Stoic path is not selfish. It is about aligning your life with virtue, with justice, with courage. When you live for more than yourself, pain has purpose, and sacrifice has meaning. Habit 12. Daily reflection. This is where everything comes together. At the end of each day, Marcus would write, sometimes just a line, sometimes a page, reflecting on what he did well, where he failed, and how he could do better tomorrow. Warriors sharpen their swords daily. Stoics sharpen their souls. Reflection keeps you honest, accountable, and aware. Without it, days slip by unnoticed. Lessons are lost. Growth is stunted. With it, you become unstoppable, constantly adjusting, improving, and strengthening. Ask yourself tonight, did I live with purpose? Did I control what I could? Did I act with courage? Did I honor my values? This is how warriors end their day. So, warriors, we have walked through 12 habits that can transform your life. Clarity, emotional control, discipline, discomfort, purpose, gratitude, action, acceptance, humility, mortality, service, and reflection. Each one is a blade, a shield, a piece of armor. Alone, they are strong. Together, they are unbreakable. But none of this matters if you only listen and nod. The Stoics demand more. They demand action. They demand that you rise each morning ready to fight, that you hold your peace when the world attacks, that you embrace struggle when others flee, that you live today as if it were your last. This is not theory. This is war, and the battlefield is your life. So choose right now. Will you drift through another day, or will you live as a warrior forged by Stoic fire,